This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to Kol Loyim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kadosh B'Katham. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. I'm going to say peace and salutations to the Akim, close to the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Failing of, in the closing of all these different banks. I think the most recent one was that Citizens Bank. I think it closed on the 3rd of November. Salakia, bear with me for a second. Stop. Kazak, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. And a lot, I quite, well, I ain't gonna say quite often, but I thought about it, when you add up the numbers for this year, it equals a 7, and 7 goes into completion. You know what I mean? So, we watching them basically end a system, which is, this paper money system, and pretty much switch over to a digital system. It's not a coincidence that a lot of banks are basically going to be going cashless next year. We brought that out at camp, I believe, last week. So let me think of something. I'm gonna come up with scripture. It's the book of Genesis chapter 47. We'll start at verse 13. And it reads, and there was no bread in the land. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. So this is the ancient land of Egypt and the ancient land of Canaan. But, we're talking about today, America is the modern day Egypt. And if you go look up certain things, you'll find out that they had named Canada, I believe, Canaan, the land of Canaan at one point, Yeah, all this is like I said, this ain't nothing new. A lot of it. Anyhow, so it says, and Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they brought, for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. Because when you go into Joseph, which was a son of Jacob, or Yasharallah, basically he ended up being promoted to like the second in charge of Egypt. And these devils understand the power. They read the scriptures, you got to remember, and then they understand the power of food. You go back through history, you'll find out how many times food was weaponized, and that's an ancient tactic used in warfare. And if something works, why change it? So these devils going to utilize that today. That's why you got all these different food processing plants being burnt down and the scarcity of food. And I got another video I'm gonna bring out, Lord willingly. I may try to do it today if the spirit on me, but because they was just doing it like a food drive where they was giving away food, and in the midst of them doing that, they ran out of food. That's how many people is seeking help. You know what I mean? So this shit is over with. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and carnality is not gonna save you. You're gonna have to have something within you beyond what can be seen. You know, because your hope, you know, what you gonna hope in, you know, and a lot of people don't have any hope. You know, our hope is our faith. We have faith in His truth, in His word, in the scriptures. So, verse 15, and Salaki says, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. Verse 15, the point. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And when the money failed, you know, in the near future, you know, they are expecting, because you got to remember, this devil has basically done a diligent search. So he studies the people, the temperature of the people. That's why he does all these different studies and whatnot, and gets these different opinions out there. You know, they'll ask you do all these different polls to know how the people feel. You know, so they can know what's the mindset of the people, basically. I just did a video about, you got a huge protest going on in Washington, D.C. just recently. And at the end of the day, that's just based on a war that's going on in another country. Let alone, just imagine when the money fell off. So, I'll bring out a little bit of this article. And it reads, it says, Citizens Bank becomes the 5th U.S. bank to fail in 2023. And when you add it up again, a two, and then a 3 is a 7. The 2 branches of Citizens Bank will reopen as branches of Iowa Trust and Savings Bank on Monday during normal business hours. The banking crisis continues in the U.S. as another regional American bank shuts shop. The government has shut down Citizens Bank due to financial issues, because basically all these banks are insolvent, you know, meaning they can't afford to pay their bills. And they shouldn't. And the only reason why this place is still dragging on now is because, you know, Esau, Edom, the elite are making it, you know, keep on going. Well, it's ultimately Yahweh Shem Al Shah, but what I'm saying is, you got to remember, they got all the money. You know what I mean? That's just like America's pretty much broke, but as long as, you know, the elites are funding this place, allowing them to get loans and shit, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, they can, because they're trying to push an agenda. And again, ultimately, it's the will of Yahweh Shem Al Shah. It says, the government has shut down Citizens Bank due to financial issues, allowing the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation to take control without providing any public warning. FDIC issued a statement on November 3rd stating the action taken on Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank is the 5th bank to close down in this, the 5th bank to close down in the nation this year. The failed banks list shows Heartland, Tri-State Bank, First Republic Bank, Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, and First Citizens Bank as other banks shut down in 2023. The shutdown started on March 10th, 2023, with First Citizens Bank going down under. And the thing is, this is not just these 5 banks. It's like pretty much like I was listening to this one economist, and he, you know, through the spirit led me to some information that I did a video on, because it was like at the time of Silicon Valley Bank crashing, or, you know, being, you know, basically being shut down, or not shut down, but basically failing, Salakia. It was like 722 other banks. You go into the 722 banks, like the Fed had to start another program where the banks can borrow money. I'm gonna go bring the information out. So what they started, Treasury agency debt and mortgage-backed securities and other qualifying assets as collateral. So they using, you know, the U.S. Treasuries, which the U.S. Treasuries is in trouble. You know, normally citizens buy the Treasuries because, you know, your government's supposed to, always be, basically you're loaning the government money when you use it by a treasury. So it's supposed to like hold some kind of value, but people ain't buying them bitches. The Fed for the last couple of years been buying them, and I think China was buying them, if I'm not mistaken. But now those were the two major, like the country of China and the Federal Reserve were the two major purchasers of the treasuries. But now they're no longer buying them, and then that's program that they created, it ends next year. It was only for 1 year, so more than likely next year is going to be the year of this money collapsing. Back into the article. It says the shutdown started on March 10th, 2023, with First Citizens Bank going down under. The FDIC statement: Citizens Bank, Sac City, Iowa, was closed today by the Iowa Division of Banking, which appointed the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation as the receiver. To protect depositors, the FDIC entered into a purchase and assumption agreement with Iowa Trust and Savings Bank, Emmitsburg, Iowa, to assume all of the deposits of Citizens Bank. Now you got to understand the FDIC, basically insures your money up to a certain amount. But like the Silicon Valley Bank, you had so many people running to get their money because, say for instance, you had $1 million in the bank. Well, they only, insure up to $250,000. So if you had $1 million and you took a loss, you would lose 3/4 of your money. The two branches, pretty much the point's been made. The money fell. So, and the scriptures went into this, because at the end of the day, this is how the Most High has set the system up for that hour of temptation. At the end of the day, and also due to the fact of how this money system is set up, it's not based on real money. And will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And that's what we're doing today. This was Habakkuk at that time. Today, you got, the respective men, first and foremost, our elders and apostles on down, that's standing on our watch, out on the highways and hedges, because we're watchmen, for the nation of Israel, Was that Ezekiel chapter 3? Verse 2, and the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua answered me and said, write the vision or the prophecy and make it plain upon tables that he may run that read of it. This thing ain't got to be, you ain't got to use, ginormous. You ain't got to, try to, what's the word? You ain't got to dress this thing up, at the end of the day, it's big enough as it is, you know what I mean? Like we're speaking on things that haven't took place yet that's coming to pass. But so you break it down to the simplest form, you go out and you teach the people, you tell the people. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for a point in time, which is the prophecy. And like I said, you got a point in time that the Most High has the prophecy of this money felon is set up for a point in time. It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, meaning it's, it stops, starts up, stops, starts up. I remember that back in when Trump shut down the government. It had, those federal workers working for free. But at the end of the day, as of lately, it seemed like just, prophecy been moving. Especially, it seemed like since, the Lord put the spirit on Putin to go do the Ukraine thing. And it's funny because you got China talking about doing this, basically, because you got to remember, these were once parts of these nations. Taiwan was part of China. Ukraine was once part of Russia. You know what I mean? And, what America's so proud, their pride is going to actually literally put them in a fucked up position because, you got America talking about trying to go to war with Iran. They're helping fund the situation with Ukraine and Israel, or those Israelis, those fake Jews, you know, the Jewish. And then you talking about some literally, going to war with China. So, like I said, that also happened, in the ancient Roman Empire. It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Whose soul is not upright? Esau Edom's. He's a proud man. The Lord, the scriptures talk about how the Most High, you can't make straight what the Most High made crook. He set Esau Edom up to be the wicked. You got a righteous and a wicked, and Esau Edom is playing the role of the wicked. But who shall live by their faith? The elect of Israel. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, meaning his philosophies, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. When you go into Taiwan basically introduced, that LBGT, alphabet lifestyle, And, you got a lot of those Moabites offended because that's the actual biblical name of those so-called Chinese, that's the philosophy that they pushing around the whole world and getting these different nations drunk off of. Who enlarges his desires hell and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Because he a covetous man. He really, has a rulership mentality, and he really wants to govern the whole planet. Although the Most High gave each nation their own inheritance. You know what I mean? Showing you like he just literally wasn't right from the beginning. And when you take the time to think about it, look at how many Edomite rulers have tried to do that. From Alexander the Great to, the Roman Empire. Like, it's just in a spirit to try to rule the whole fucking world. Verse 6, the point, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And when you go into the word clay, it's a batya. And like I said, I haven't been on here in a minute. I should say batya, meaning heavy debts. Well, there we go. Heavy debts. Because the American dollar is a debt note. And this monetary system, is basically, it's not usury, but it's like it really holds no value. Like I said, it's a debt note. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically by using it, it's like a form of witchcraft. Because, like when you go to the whole banking institution, you put money in and then they basically keep your money. Like people gonna really lose their fucking mind when they, a brother was telling us about that, like how certain times they asking him to access his money. Why is he access? Like how the fuck? Can you imagine that? You know what I mean? Like these people gonna but you got to think about it too. Look how they designed the system. At one point, you literally could deal with cash, but if they phase out the use of cash, you get what I'm saying? So they gonna make you like how they did with the smart TV and shit. Like they gonna make you conform, or they gonna attempt to. Lucky. It's the book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 6. Because the money's a debt note, and then like I said, right now we're in an inflationary period, which the scriptures talk about inflation, but you seeing that now. That's why things are so expensive. And I was watching the guy John Williams. He's an economist, and he was talking about like in certain places McDonald's is $18. You got stupid ass people buying that shit, but that's not just because they still making a profit. That greedy ass McDonald's. But at the same time, them golden arches of Babylon. You know what I mean? But it's not just that though, it's because this place, it's hyperinflation. I mean, if you gonna pay $20 for a fucking a Big Mac, like, is you crazy? Like, this is the book of Revelation chapter 6. At one point in time, a Big Mac meal was what, $6 with the fries and the drink. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. When you go into that word penny is denarius, which means it was basically a day's wage for a Roman centurion. So I keep saying centurion. A centurion is a leader of 100, a Roman soldier. Salakia for that. But it's saying a measure of wheat for a penny, so it's gonna take a day's wage to buy a loaf of bread. And if you paying $20 for a motherfucking Big Mac meal, then you know what I mean. Like, at any time, like I was just listening. Well, not to digress, but I was just listening to this individual, because I listened to like 4 or 5 different economists, and he was talking about how like a Jeep Tahoe, a Tahoe, a Chevy Tahoe, be $90,000. You know what I mean? Because these cars are when you take time to think about it, like they just negotiated all this money for these union workers to keep on producing these cars, but nobody can afford them. So what's gonna happen? The guy John Williams said, he said basically that's gonna lead to automation, AI, that's gonna be a reason to let these people go. And these people will go motherfucking ham. You know what I mean? Like, again, I just recently did a video about it. They're showing a protest. It was like 300,000 people gathered in Washington, D.C. And you see the images of it. I mean, I'm talking about the complete streets is filled up with people. And that's just protesting the war. So just imagine when they can't access their money or ain't got no money. And the thing is, Esau ain't fucking stupid. Like, Esau got crowd control weapons and shit. Like, they can manipulate sound. Like that movie, The Incredible Hulk, when they had that tank with the amp on it that basically was hitting the Hulk, and he basically had to jump up over it and smash the tank in half. I forgot what he used. He used like a disc or something and split the tank in half. But the point is, they got weaponry like that. They got all kind of fucking weapons to control the crowd. They got weapons that can make a sound and make you throw up and all kind of shit. Like this devil, like I said, you got to remember he's the sword of the Most High. He's a tool used on the left hand side of the Most High. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So again, trusting in this devil and his system, that's why the scriptures talk about laying up for yourself treasures. Don't lay yourself up treasures on earth, but lay your treasures up in heaven. Because this system is failing. You know what I mean? Like, and if you got eyes to see, you can clearly see that. And some people don't want to believe it, but facts is fact. And then you're gonna have people that's gonna choose this world over Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So if that's the case, because the world is a beautiful place, and with money, it doesn't say money is evil. It says the love of money is evil. You got people that love money and worship money like a god more than Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And I mean, it's showing you money ain't evil because he gave Solomon a lot of money. And then when you go into, like I said, the word mammon, it means money, but when you further research, you come to find out that was like a Babylonian entity. That's why you had sacrifices, that Israelites would make in order to like receive money. Like they would sacrifice, like how you got going on right now. Like when people sit up there and say they don't believe in the Illuminati and all that, but not understanding what the Illuminati is, that shows you a fucking fool. This is the book of Luke chapter 6, and the point is verse 24, and it reads, "But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation." Verse 25, "Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep." So all these people that's enjoying themselves now and, making mockery of the ministry and, taking this thing lightly and as a joke, the scriptures tell you that in the book of Proverbs chapter 1. He said he gonna laugh at your calamity. So right now, you laughing, but later on you're gonna mourn. We waiting on a heavenly reward, because although this is our duty, scriptures tell you in the book of Ecclesiastes, the whole duty of man is to serve the Most High, to fear the Most High and keep His commandments. And what man is that? An Israelite man. Scriptures talk about going out on the highways and hedges and proclaiming His truth. It is our duty, but this thing comes with a reward too. This is the book of Revelation chapter 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already... Salaki, I didn't even mean to read that. I'm going to start at it though. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. So what you got in this truth, don't let this go. If anything, you should be trying to abound. You're trying to grow. You know what I mean? Scriptures talk about that penny. You're supposed to be trying to flip that penny. Verse 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my, life actually expounds. Death, decreases or withers away. Verse 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Verse 27, he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. Now, scriptures talk about us being joint heirs with Yahushua Mashiach, because you got to remember, He's coming to establish His kingdom. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 12. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, he shall go, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon him my new name. So, those that, hold fast and stay in this thing to the end, you're going to receive a reward. You're going to be, you're going to be praised, and you're going to be the super, like the elders made the mention of, the superstars of Israel. You know how we speak on Moses and Samuel, and, we was just going into, because brother asked a question about named righteous men that killed, and Elijah, and, just the many of me and, King David, like righteous men that believed and feared Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua that, killed me, and, how they're pillars, because their name going to live on. Their name has been living on for ages. That's how we will be, always remembered. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole, Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Kol Loyim, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash Bakatam. I'm going to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing His truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aquat of the listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I'm going to say shalom, shalom. Shalom.